Hi, this is Opa, and I'm going to be reading a story to you today. It's called Good as New. And I haven't read this, so I don't know what it's about, but I do know when something is new, what it looks like. And sometimes we have things that are not new and they get torn and damaged, and you have to fix them up so you can still work with them and still play with them and still use them. So I look forward to seeing what this is about, but it's called Good as New. It's a story by Barbara Douglas with pictures by Patience Brewster. Good as New. This is a book called Good as New. It's a story by Barbara Douglas with pictures by Patience Brewster. Good as New. And there's a bear. Wonder what's going to be good as new. Good as New. Here we go. I thought my grandpa could fix anything. One morning last week he fixed the hose and the fence and my swing and my sandbox and Yim Lee's fire engine and Carmen's wagon. But then my cousin KC came to visit while Uncle Jonathan went riding with his club. And KC started crying as soon as my uncle rode home. Nobody could make him happy, not even Grandpa, because the only thing KC wanted was my bear. And I said, "Huh, huh, nobody plays with my bear but me." Casey kicked the floor and he cried some more, and Mom said, "Grady, do you think Casey feels lonely because he didn't bring his bear?" Then Dad said, "Do you think he might feel better, son, if you just let him hold your bear?" Grandpa didn't say anything, and Casey cried even harder until Yim Lee and Carmen grabbed their toys and went home. Grandpa grabbed his hat and went for a walk. And before I could say, "Okay, you can hold them," Casey grabbed my bear, but he didn't just hold him. He dragged my bear around by the ears, and he fed him some peanut butter, and he tried to feed him to the dog. Dad made him stop. Then Casey dragged my bear outside, where he sat on him, and he turned the hose on him. My dad made him stop, too, so Casey carried my bear in the sand. After Casey went home, I dug up my bear. Mom said, "Please, don't bring it in the house." Dad said, "I'm sorry it's ruined, son, but I'll buy you a new one." I said, "I don't want a new bear. I want this old one fixed the way he was before KC came." Mom shook her head, and Dad did too. But Grandpa hung his hat and he said, "Never you mind now, Grady. I can fix that bear so he'll be as good as new in no time." Then he brought a big brown paper bag outside and went and sat down. But he opened up his pocket knife. I said, "Wait a minute. What's that for, Grandpa? Are you sure you can fix my bear?" "Of course I can," he said to me. "Hold on here and pull so I can see to cut the stitches." I held on and pulled, but I didn't want to watch because Grandpa opened up my bear and then he started pulling out stuffing. My bear's stomach went flat. the way mine feels when I'm hungry. His arms and legs wrinkled up too. So I said, Grandpa, are you sure this is the right way to fix my bear? Grandpa just kept on working. My bear's nose dropped and his head flopped, and I covered up my eyes and I said, Grandpa, are you sure? But he said, never you mind now, Grady. We'll have this bear as good as new in no time. In the kitchen, we made a sink full of suds and Grandpa scrubbed my bear. First, he scrubbed the stomach, and then the arms and legs, and the neck, and the nose, and even scrubbed the ears. The water got all muddy, but my bear didn't get very clean. Look, I said, Grandpa, I can still see peanut butter. So I pulled the plug and we made more suds, and Grandpa scrubbed again. But this time, he scrubbed too hard. Both the ears fell off, and I said, Grandpa, I'm not sure this is the right way to fix my bear. Never you mind now, Grandpa said. He'll be as good as new in no time. Grandpa rinsed my bear and squeezed him hard. But when he shook him out, I told him, Grandpa, a clean bear's not so good. It's all flat and wrinkled, and it hasn't got any ears. Never mind, never you mind now, Grandpa said. Then he hung my bear outside to dry, with one ear on each side, and he said, I have to go downtown to buy new stuffing. Anybody want to come along? I did. We rode the bus to the hobby shop. While Grandpa bought the stuffing, I saved his place in the popcorn line. By the time we got back home again, my bear and his ears were dry, but he was still all flat and broken. I said, Grandpa, are you sure? I guess you know what Grandpa said. So we sat down again outside, and Grandpa filled my bear with new fluffy stuffing. He put about 100 hunks of stuffing in the arms, and he put about 100 hunks of stuffing in the legs, and he put about 100 hunks of stuffing in the head, and in the nose, and in the neck, but the stomach still looked hungry. So Grandpa kept on stuffing. Then I brought him a needle and thread and a thimble, and he sewed the back of my bear and said, there. But I said, wait a minute, Grandpa. He isn't dirty anymore, and he isn't flat or wrinkled, but he still doesn't look so good without what? Is something missing, Grandpa asked, wide-eyed. Never you mind, he said. I can fix that too. So he did, and then he said, there now, how does he look? I turned my bear all around and carefully looked it over. Grandpa, I said at last, I thought you could fix anything, but this bear isn't good as new. There was a long silence, and Grandpa looked kind of sad. It's better than new, I shouted, laughing, and gave him my best bear hug. Now, whenever KC comes over to visit, Grandpa and I grab our hats and my bear and slip out the back door, never minding. That's the end of Good as New.